Coming up on Cards and Collectibles, we get up close with some high-grade vintage cards worth more than most homes. Card grading, what is it? And how much can it increase value of your cards? And a Disney princess who created her own magic kingdom.
I'm a very big collector of Boston Celtics cards and memorabilia. Larry Bird was the first player I ever collected. I was more drawn to the style of play that the team played. They weren't flashy, it was more just about winning. Obviously they had a strong history of winning championships, and that's all the team really cared about. I mainly focus on key cards and key players and key sets. I'd rather have quality over quantity. With modern cards, I try and make sure all the autographs that I collect are on card as opposed to the sticker autographs. Much rather the fact that the players held the card in hand as opposed to signing a sticker and sticking it on the card. Certain players, I might only have 10 cards, but I'd rather have 10 quality cards than 100 mid-level cards. I like to have the best of the best. Like Tatum, I've got 2 Tatum cards. Select Black, 1 of 1, and I've got one of his rookie select autograph cards. I've got some of the Jaylen Brown's best cards. I've got his National Treasures rookie. I've got multiple 1 of 1s, patch cards, autograph cards. I try and just stick with the quality. The modern stuff's pretty cool, but I think what's more impressive is my vintage basketball collection. I've been a Celtics fan probably since I started collecting basketball cards in the early 90s. I attended the National Sports Collectors Convention in the US. Before that, I hadn't really been exposed to vintage cards in Australia because no one really has that sort of stuff. And I was instantly drawn to the history of them, and over the next few years the goal was just to obtain one of each copy. I wasn't super concerned about the grade, it was just I wanted a clean copy of each card. Once I acquired one of everything, I started to look at the grades and go, oh, I want a higher grade. So this is my main Boston Celtics collection. We've got vintage starting from 1948 Bowman through the 60s, 70s, 80s, mid-80s with the Star Company cards, and then all the way through to the modern cards. They're almost like antiques. When they were produced, they were marketed as a gimmick for mainly collected by kids. Most of them just got rubber bands around them, they got thrown in shoe boxes. So to find them in perfect condition it's near impossible. They weren't designed to be preserved. Anything pre-1980 was relatively scarce. Compared to baseball cards, the basketball cards were almost non-existent. In vintage, grades matter tremendously. The higher the grade, obviously the more value, but the difference between an 8 and a 9 and a 9 and a 10 can be exponential. You might have an 8 that's worth $100, a 9 that's worth $500, but if a 10 comes up, depending on how many there are, the 10 might be $20,000. My goal is just to have every Boston Celtics card in the highest grade possible, which is quite difficult because there's quite a few copies out there which there is a 10 or a 9 where there's only one copy graded that grade in the world. The oldest NBA specific product that had basketball cards was the 1948 Bowman. They're smaller than a standard regular issue card, and they're made obviously from cardboard that was used at the time, so they're very brittle, they're very prone to not being in good condition. These are the 1957 Topps set. Contains key rookies of Bob Cousy and Bill Russell. The 1961 Fleer, I've got every card in a PSA 9. Some players do have 10s. Bill Russell only has 9s. There's no 10s out there. I've got the base portrait card and he has an in-action subset card. I've got those both in a PSA 9, which is the highest grade that card's ever been graded. My favourite design is probably the 1971 Topps. The font and the look of the cards is very retro. I've got the 1971 Dave Cowens rookie card in a PSA 10. It's the only copy graded 10 in the world. I remember the auction ending and my heart sank because then I realised I had to pay for this card. The most valuable card that I'd have would be the 1957 Topps Bill Russell rookie card. I've got that in a PSA 7. The 7 that I acquired is worth roughly $75,000. Vintage sports cards can be a better investment than some stocks, shares, things like that. The price increases in some of the higher grades, 5 to 10x what I originally paid for the cards.
Whether you're looking for singles, boxes, or card accessories, Sports Card World has had you covered for over 30 years. Come in and speak with their knowledgeable team about all things cards and collectibles.
When you think of vintage baseball, two names often come to mind: Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth. But of the two, Mantle holds the mantle, pun intended, of the most expensive sports card ever sold. Whilst his rookie season was 1951, his 1952 Topps trading card is his most sought after, with even the lowest graded version of this card selling for $20,000 or more. But finding one in excellent condition is extremely hard, and any high graded examples that hit the market sell for huge amounts. In August 2022, a version graded SGC 9.5 went up for auction, and after an intense few weeks of bidding, the card sold for an unprecedented $19.2 million. For more record sales or to see the value of your collectibles, download the 130 Point app today.
If you're new to card collecting, you've probably heard of card grading, but what does it involve? Does it add value? And how do you submit cards from down under? Lane Pearce from the Hobby Australia has all the answers and more.
The Hobby Australia is a trading card and memorabilia company that sells trading cards, but also we were the first PSA certified dealer in the Southern Hemisphere. I also started a website called 130 Point, which is one of the most used websites in the world for pricing trading cards. It draws in data from a bunch of marketplaces and shows what cards have sold for. Grading is when you take a trading card and you send it to an independent third party who looks at it and assesses it for its condition. They're generally looking at things like the colour of the card, the edges, the corners, the centering of the picture on the card. And the intent is to determine on a scale of 1 to 10 how good that card is. A 1 is something like a card that's been bent or somebody put in their spokes of their bike back in the day. That's the sort of card you'll see as a 1. And a 10 is, for all intents and purposes, a near perfect card. There are a lot of grading companies around the world these days. However, there's 3 main ones that sit at the top of the pile when it comes to being the most trusted across the entire community: PSA, Beckett, and SGC. For a long time, Beckett was actually seen as the premier grading company. However, we've seen over the last decade or so that PSA has taken over the mantle as being the most valued, grading company out there. If you want a card graded, we can do a lot of the process for you. That's our intent, is to sort of simplify it for most collectors. So you'd bring the card into us, then we take your cards and then we will do all the paperwork for it. We take photos of every single card. We package that up into individual groups, send them off to the US, and PSA does their work. And once they've finished, they ship them back to us. We'll invoice the customer and then they can pick their cards up or we can ship them back to them. The benefits of using a group submitter is that you get better pricing than you can normally get yourself. We also cover the insurance, the shipping, any of the GST customs, those sorts of things. And we found that over the years, a lot of people have had some issues when they send cards themselves to the US, whether it be getting it into the US whether it be getting it back and through customs and they're not sure how to deal with it and they get questions that they really don't know how to answer. We've navigated those waters so people can trust us to make sure that their cards get to and from the US safely. Grading a card can increase the value significantly. We had an example where a customer of ours was able to buy a card, that card being a Lewis Hamilton rookie card, for around $54 from an online marketplace. The card received a PSA 9 grade and then sold at auction for around 400,000 Australian dollars. Grading vintage cards is very important because of the likelihood and the number of fake cards that are out there. So there are a lot of high value vintage cards that exist. Their value is significantly increased even as an authentic card versus a raw card. We're also a partner with Golden Auctions in America. They're one of the largest sports memorabilia and these days pop culture auction houses in the world. So getting high-end items in front of people in America through Golden Auctions has been a great way for collectors in Australia to get some high-value items sold at the best possible price. So here we have a few examples of items we have with us for consignment at the moment. A good example is this basketball here, which is a basketball signed by the entire 1976-77 Lakers team. And the other interesting fact about this ball is it is believed to be used in Game 7 of their conference final win over the Golden State Warriors. We have a few different signatures, but probably one of the most recognisable is this one here, that is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So another interesting piece we have here for consignment is this NBA contract that traded Pat Riley from the Los Angeles Lakers to the Phoenix Suns. And one other interesting fact is that it's signed by Larry O'Brien, who is the person that the NBA championship trophy is now named after. Some collectors do find it very hard to part with their items because they have a lot of sentimental value attached to them.
Passion for Formula One is at an all-time high, with record crowds, TV ratings and trading card sales. Matt Clark has fused his love of cars and cards, putting him in pole position on the PSA rankings.
I definitely love fast cars. I've always been into cars and cards. Probably since I was a teenager, have always been part of my life. And they're both the two hobbies that I'm most passionate about. Friends and family probably don't understand it all that much. I think it's more mainstream now than it was 10, 15 years ago. It was people sort of hid their collections. I was probably one of them. A lot of my friends didn't know that I collected or how heavily I collected. Because Adelaide had the Formula One Grand Prix, from a very young age I was a Ayrton Senna fan. He was always seemed to be up the top of the podium, he was always winning. He was my first Formula One driver that I followed and was passionate about. This is my Ayrton Senna collection. Ranges from the early 80s through to the mid 90s. A lot of international and European version stickers and cards. You got the 91 Pro Tracks, 92 Grid Formula One, and then the Australian Futura sets and later. I probably started collecting Senna cards when I realised what was out there. In total, he's got less than 100 cards from when he started in the early 80s up until early 2000s. And I just wanted everything in the highest grade possible. On the PSA Set Registry, I've got the #1 Ayrton Senna collection in the world. Some of the key cards in my Senna collection is the 1994 Futura tribute card. There's only 500 of those made. When I was trying to acquire that card, I couldn't find a copy anywhere, but I actually found there was a seller on eBay that had some sealed boxes. The whole goal was just to try and find the Senna tribute card. I didn't really care about any other cards in the packs. I opened the 3 boxes, was really disappointed that I didn't pull one. Put them all in a box, put them under the bench, and then just left them there for about 2 years. Pulled out the box, started sifting through, and within the first handful of cards, stuck to another card almost, was the Senna tribute card, which had been under my bench for 2 years. Pulled it out, sent it to PSA, came back a PSA 9, which is the highest grade copy in the world.
Who
remembers handheld video games. In the early 80s, handheld arcade games let kids take the fun anywhere. Nintendo's Donkey Kong handheld, released in 1982, was a standout. With its dual-screen clamshell design, it let players jump barrels and save Pauline on the go. These little games were a pocket-sized revolution in gaming. I remember playing countless hours of these handheld games, sitting on the couch at home, playing your game and maybe swapping with friends and family and playing theirs as well. It was awesome times. Head to our socials and tell us what you remember about handheld video games.
Move over Cinderella, Laura McDonald is Australia's Disney princess of collecting. With a collection including Funkos, Lego, castles and more, she's created the happiest place on earth inside her own home.
As a child, I grew up with classic Disney films on VHS. I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' house, and my grandma would show me classic Disney movies such as Cinderella, Snow White, and we would just watch them over and over again. And so I developed this absolute love of all things Disney from my grandmother and her love of fairy tales and all things good. So this is my collection. As you can see, I've got loads of Funko Pops down the bottom here. Single figures, ride pops of different buildings. Some of my favorites are these Disney couple Funkos that represent different romantic moments between Disney characters. Moving up along, we have loads of Lego. Lego was pretty pricey back in the day, so it was never something that I had. So as an adult, with adult money, I can buy my own Lego. Every holiday my partner and I choose to take, it always has to involve a Disney park. It is my goal to visit all 6 of the Disney parks in the world. I'm currently at 3 out of 6, but I keep visiting Tokyo Disneyland because it is my favorite. We've probably been to Tokyo Disneyland 5 times. One of the most meaningful things that I collect are my Disney ears. They represent different moments, specifically different trips to Disneyland, Disney World. I've got some Christmas ears here, I've got some Halloween and villain ears. I've even got Valentine's Day ears because I'm a very seasonal person. It has helped me shape the way I live my life. I like to see the magic in situations. I like to believe the best in people, like Cinderella, or work hard for what you get, like Tiana. There's a lot of really good lessons that you can learn. So I've got a collection of Marvel stuff here. My partner and I actually only got into Marvel during lockdown. My favorite character here is Wanda Maximoff, also known as the Scarlet Witch. For me, she represents a really, really strong character who has lost so much. I think that she's the strongest female character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so I just love her. I love castles. Castles to me represent happiness, fairy tales, magic. My castle collection is my pride and joy. They are the most fragile, the most valuable in my collection. The castle collection was released by Shop Disney UK and US over a 2-year period. They are very, very rare. They are hand painted. They've got some really, really great details. If you open doors and windows, you can see little scenes from that exact movie, but they're very, very subtle. It's mainly about the castle. Some other Disney creators and collectors in Australia collected a couple of them, but I'm the only one that I know with the set. If there is a house fire, that's what I'm grabbing and running out with. They are my children.